as part of this foot stewards discussion, the purchaser, like we said, is entitled to receive the property in the same condition it was in when he inspected the property. This will include fixtures and fittings, in other words, fixtures, fittings of a permanent nature, that were present when the purchaser inspected the property with the agent the first time. I'm not going to go into too much detail, apart from saying that fixtures and fittings are things that, because of their nature, have become such an integral part of the fixed property that one cannot see them as separate entities anymore. These should all be in working order as well, and also form part of the foot stewards clause. Building plans is another very important example. Prior to the very infamous Ferraris versus Odendaal court case that actually started in Port Elizabeth, it was seen as an implied term of any agreement of sale that approved municipal plans for all buildings and additions and alterations to property would be in existence. If closer to registration, during the registration process, it became clear that such plans did not exist, the purchaser was actually able to result from the agreement based on the fact that no approved building plans existed. After Ferraris versus Odendaal, which ended up in the appellate division, this changed forever. It is now seen as part of foot stewards. In other words, to go back to the general rule regarding foot stewards, if building plans don't exist, approved building plans, if those don't exist for a particular property, and the purchaser becomes aware of this during the registration process, that purchaser must now prove the two things required under the foot stewards clause. Like we said, first of all, he has to prove that it's a latent defect. Now, that will not be too difficult because it's not something that's visible with the naked eye. But the second part of the test is crucial and could prove to be quite difficult, because the purchaser will now have to prove that the seller was aware of the fact that no approved building plans existed for some of the additions or alterations. So it changed the onus of proof, whereas previously, before Ferraris versus Odendaal, it was seen as an implied term of the agreement. So, if it didn't exist, the seller would be in breach of that agreement. Now, we've said that it forms part of the foot stewards discussion, which means that the purchaser has to prove the two things required to succeed with a claim for damages. So that changed the rules relating to approved building plans.